Hey, welcome.
Doing?
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good too. Thanks for coming here again. And by the way, I had so much fun on Saturday talking to you and others. It was a blast.
Yeah, that was so much fun. I'll be honest, I didn't expect everyone else to be there, but I'm actually really glad they were. It was really nice.
Yeah, and like I said, you gave me the idea. So yeah, so thanks because I had so much fun because of your idea.
There's a lot you can do, and so far it's looking really good for everything. For
Yeah.
you're really evolving, and it just means bright things in the future for this podcast. I can say.
Yeah, of course. But besides that, even just even outside the podcast, also just the 3 hours, the way we had fun. I mean, originally I had a paper, and I planned to jot down some timelines like time tags when we're gonna talk about what. But then it was just like you're having a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, and you have friends over, and you're just talking about. So it goes there, it goes here. So it was just a whole wild conversation. So yeah, I really enjoyed this. The best 3 hours of my week, to be honest.
Yeah, it was so much fun to finally be able to talk to Kat and to properly meet Choice's lady and Danielle. It was really nice to meet them and talk to them. Yeah, it was a really fun afternoon. I enjoyed talking about everything. It was so much
Yeah,
fun.
yeah. It was great. It was great. And even the 3 hours felt short, kind of.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. And that's it. Okay. So, um, again, what we do. So, I think we're gonna talk about the first week of June because first Choices book releases on Wednesday, and it was already 2nd of June or something like that. So, first week of June, a lot of things happened, I guess, in terms of book releases. Open Heart came to an end, and also what happened in some of the books, like specifically one, Laws of Attraction, and the Insiders. That was super spicy in terms of the news it carried, and lots of potential that it had. So it was a great, significant week.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting. The open heart ending was I think people explained it as a bit blunt. People were expecting proposals with the ending with their love interests, but I don't think they kind of got what they wanted. Although they did like have a nice kind of ending scene, but not kind of ending they wanted. And yeah, with the Choices Insider, finally caught up on that. That was very interesting. We had releases of, I believe, if I remember correctly, 7 books. One being the Nanny Affair, which releases next Friday. And then we had 6 other books that were really interesting. We had Shipwrecked, which is to be a VIP book, which looks interesting, and we also have one of the other highlight ones was the zombie book that's finally coming out, Wake the Dead, I believe it's called.
Yeah.
We had some information on little information on those books, and yeah, it's definitely been an interesting week. I'm really excited to see how these books will turn out, and who knows, like, because these are just like single books for now, but who knows if they could evolve on like Open Heart and Baby Bump. It's gonna be interesting to see.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Choices Insiders, it was great, and I'm glad they are doing stuff with Choices Insiders, like the the um, the survey. The survey, it was really potentially good, and because I think it contained a lot of informations that they should know. This is the proper feedback that the readers should be giving to Choices, or the Choices they should be getting this feedback from the players, because it's been a long time, and choices, the way they create things, and it's like quality stuff. The books, specifically the older books, and so I think it should be like in terms of gender customizable allies, gender customizable main characters, genre, and what should be there, and how they should be releasing. What about VIP? So I think if people make their voice heard, then choices can improve themselves from here. So I think they took the initiative. That was super awesome. Very important survey.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would agree with you there. That was an interesting survey. It's definitely something they needed because one thing as well is with how the books have been going and the community's very obvious reactions to like the book endings, they really needed these surveys out to finally get the actual opinions of the community, so they can find out what went wrong, what's going well, what they can improve on, and especially when it comes to allies and gender customizable characters.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with you. That's right. And also exciting releases like the Nanny Affairs. They even set the date, and that is the 18th of June. So just few days. I think it's today. Today's 7th of June. So 11 days later, it's coming out. And also they, like you said, the shipwrecked. And I later we found out that's VIP. So kind of bummed about that. But other than that, they gave the zombie book a name, Wake the Dead and Crimes of Passion. Probably this is going to be the last book releasing this year. How they oriented this, and the message from the T they write. So they all in all, they oriented the Insider really well, really well.
Yeah, it definitely they did a good job with the release of that, I think, and which again they needed. And I think depending on how this goes, like, so they're gonna want to be careful as well. They want to make sure with the releasing of these books is gonna be, it's gonna be key, because with their main titles gone now, they really need to focus on making some good new books to appeal to the community, because most people could say Open Heart and Baby Bump and the main books were kind of keeping them here because they were following the stories they love. They've got to make new ones now, so they have to be careful with this, and they're gonna have to try work hard to make some new lasting books.
Yeah, I have talked about it before too, like this open heart ending and baby bump ending. So I think exactly you're right. I mean, a book ends, a series ends. That means the possibility for a new book. Well, I think we kind of know what is the schedule for books this year. So I don't think we're gonna get any more surprises. For folks in VIP, there are surprises still. I think one more surprise because if Shipwrecked come in August, then 3 months, September, October, November. So around November, December, there can potentially another VIP book release. Potentially can release. I don't know if it's going to be that case or not. But other than that, for normal general public, there are no surprises. So they know the release schedule, but they're waiting for Crimes of Passion. They're waiting for Zombie Book. And these books, if they sequel how it goes, it would be super awesome to see. And the sequels like to um, Nanny Affair and Queen Bee. It's gonna be super fun. Yeah, I'm looking forward to those books, specifically the Nanny Affair. It's gonna be the first release. Then Queen Bee. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, definitely, and it's like you said, them being series. There's no doubt that there's a possibility one, possibly two of these books. We'll see two, possibly three books to try and last out a series like Open Heart and Baby Bump. So it'll be interesting to see. And who knows, with the way Nanny Affair's gone, there is a possibility we could even get a book three of that. So it's even a possibility of Queen Bee. So there's endless possibilities. So, but I'm really excited so far. It's been really good. I mean, the only thing that's been a bit of a letdown were Baby Bump ending and Open Heart ending, and the actual ending of Open Heart. But it's looking good so far. Moving into the next chapter.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. And curious for what's coming next. And the choices. CEO Max once said, if the books get love from the fan, and if the choices get sort of expanded and it grows bigger, then they will be working on a book that would have 10 sequels or something. So I'm waiting for that book, and who knows, the upcoming books could be that. Who knows, the zombie is a very popular genre, and I don't think any other app stores have a zombie this kind of thing. And choices, they do a really good job with horror genre and stuff. For instance, It Lives. So if they can do a good job with this zombie book, and who knows, it can go on for long, because there is a lot they can do with the zombie genre.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's one thing. Quite a few people of the community have been wanting something like a zombie genre. But like I said, there's endless genres they could try that they haven't actually done yet. There's time travel. There's like could even go medieval. There's all sorts really. That I would say they've done a good start of choices, but they haven't actually started to dive into all
Hmm.
the real genres and stuff that I think the community would really like, which I think they're kind of growing up to now. But so far, it's been a good start, and there's just endless to go with now, especially with all the genres you have.
Hmm. Yeah. And well, time travel, I think, sort of, it was related to trying time travel, but also time controlling was there. I don't know if you have read this. I don't think you have, but next you should dive right into this. Endless Summer. It has three books, a big series, and it's a book that Charles released in the old days. So it had something to deal with a lost island, and then this time travel things, and this time loops, and it was a whole lot of books. So I think a lot of folks that read Hero or this Endless Summer, it sort of set a bar for choices, what kind of books they can have, the cliffhanger, the chapter length, what they can expect. And then sort of, some books they were not happy about. And yeah, you're right. So these kind of genres are really popular at that point. Like, a lot of things were there, pirates and time travel, a whole lot of things in a single book. So would like to see something like that again.
Yeah, definitely. There's like I said, within those possibilities, and it's just amazing to see how they could evolve on just those sole ideas. Like you could, like just going into time travel, you can go into controlling it, different dimensions and
Yeah.
all sorts. You can just evolve so much on these different genres and all these different ideas. Just like I said, with the endless possibilities, just there's so much you can do, and also would hopefully pave the way for, and I know a few people agreed, new character models, just new character models, please.
Mm,
That is
yeah.
one thing we'd also like.
Yeah, definitely. That would be super awesome. And if they bring old characters, I think they should connect up universes because they should have the same name that they had in another book, and there should be a storyline connected to that. Then that would make sense. But yeah, using a same character with the same model with different name, different purpose, that just kind of I think they can do better than that.
Yeah, definitely. There's just a lot, especially when it comes to like connect like crossing over stories. There's interesting possibilities with that one. You could have maybe two stories that seem alike. Well, I don't know. You could in fact do that. Like a lot of dramas on TV, like NCIS and CSI and stuff like that. They do crossovers with the different shows and all sorts. So why not do the same with some books? Get some like dramas going, some horrors. Like with the, I guess you could say with the It Lives story, because they connected. They brought back the old characters, the crossover a bit. It'd be interesting to see what kind of crossovers they could do.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be great. That'd be great. It would really, really, pique the interest of readers because it's always fascinating to, see the links. And if you're just a little weird also and looking for these facts like who appears where and this, oh, I read this book, this character is appearing, so it would catch you by surprise, and every reader would be really interested about it. This is a really weird interesting thing. Everyone likes to sort of see or like a track like, wow, this is awesome, I'm liking this appearance.
Yeah, 'cause I don't think there's anything people like more than their favorite characters being brought together in different stories that they like. You may like one story for the actual plot, you may like another story for the characters. Nothing better than bringing them together. Something that they'll love.
Yeah, agreed. Because I played High School Story Trilogy, and the main character and their friend group were there. Then it went to High School Story Class Act, where there were completely different set of main characters, different set of group. But we would get these diamond scenes where they will tell us, you will get this opportunity to hang out with the old crew. And whenever I would be playing the diamond scene, I was like, wow, this is really interesting. This is our old group. So yeah, I would do anything to spend diamonds, to spend time with them. So yeah, I see why it would be so popular and so interesting.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that people, appealing to the audience or something they like. Which is another reason why these surveys are really good.
Mm,
They should have. I think they should have more frequent surveys, and they should ask for more ideas as well. Because like not saying that their writers and their entire team, they do a great job already. I'm just saying if they opened up the possibility for future, ideas like we've got people making their own types of stories. Like we have some people working on It Lives Within, which is the unofficial sequel to the It Lives anthology. They have so far. I haven't actually seen myself, but I've heard that they are doing a great job so far with the trailer, with the writing. I'm just saying they could. There's a lot of potential out there that they could pick up, and they could even pick up some additional writers. They could pick up some additional members for their team, because if they pick up, I'd say if they pick up people that are doing like all this great fan work. Like they make their own fan stories. They bring them into the team. They spread and they build more of a bigger picture, especially being because they were ex fans and now they get to work on the thing they love. They can appeal more to a fan audience as well if they're allowed to, which they should be. So like, there's just a lot you can do, especially with all these creators out here. Big shout out to all of them making all these like custom stories based on choices. They just so far choices is just like um a standalone area with multiple bridges of open doors to go through. Endless possibilities.
Hmm. Yeah. I agree with that. It's just that, and it would be super awesome if they sort of, like you say, diversify the community, and if that happens, it would be diverse, and yeah, so they can take ideas or like sort of they can have like different writers. Not different writers for maybe they go on. There's the main writer about the whole book, but in every chapter besides the main plot, there's also a side plot. Maybe, for instance, in Laws of Attraction, we had this scene in Vegas. So maybe who is focused on maybe law and stuff, but there should be some additional writer to write those little scenes. For instance, how you want to have fun in Vegas. So maybe someone can do a better job with that, or how you want to have fun in the sea beach. So there is an additional scene, someone else writing for that. I think that would be super awesome. So those little moments, they won't feel like different, but they would also be attractive, so the whole thing would be a big attractive thing.
Yeah, definitely. It's like I said, the one the one topic of endless possibilities with choices and with the stories. There's just so much you can do. The community really is an amazing community. They're supportive. We can there. I'd say it's easy. I'd say it's mostly easy to weed out most of the toxic people. There are some that still leech around, but the majority of the community really is amazing, and they do have some great ideas. So it just makes sense to bring those ideas together. It's
Yeah.
trying to think, maybe sometime in the future Pixelberry hold an event like an E3 or a PAX, something similar to that, where they can bring in fellow choices to submit ideas, meet and greet, talk about future books, all sorts, just future events that most gaming stuff do. It would be absolutely amazing to see people coming together, like just all relax. It reminds me of that something that someone on Twitter said: meet your online friends. I've made a lot of friends in the fandom who I would love to meet and get to know properly, and I just think that's the same for everybody. It would be amazing to have some opportunities to come together.
Yeah, I agree with that. Let's hope that happens in the future. Yeah. So let's get started with the this week's books, and specifically that was all about Charleston Insiders and what was there. Excited for the Nanny Affair book too, definitely. But what happened this week in terms of book releases? Yeah, a lot of book released. They were interesting. A lot of book ended. But what happened with Laws of Attraction? I mean, I was not expecting a chapter like this. When I started playing, I knew that it's gonna be about Lydia, about thing, but the chapter length was I was like, I started reading, it took me almost 1 hour to go through all these incidents, and I was like, wait a second, let me wrap around this. And it was immense, and what happened at the end, I mean, it changed the definition, and this is going to be interesting. And the way they did it, it was not like, it was super interesting something happened. A lot of people also speculated this could happen. Beau can be a backstabber, but the way they sort of represented it after what happened in the previous chapters, it was a shocker. How did you feel about the last chapter?
Oh, well, toward the end I was completely irritated. Although throughout I was pretty happy. We started off a bit bad. We went through what we had to do. We had to go to Vegas, obviously. We all packed onto the plane, got going, arranged what we are gonna do when we got there. We finally reached the hotel. We had to divide and conquer to find out everything that happened. Beau and Martin hit the tables, and then we get to choose our own partner. I am pretty sure everybody chose Aslinn. I mean, I frankly wanted to kind of choose Gigi, but I wanted to stick with my love interest a
Yeah.
bit.
Mm.
So I took Aslin to the bar. Gigi and Gabe hit up the housekeeping staff. It was a nice, I'd say it was a nice moment between MC and Aslin. Them just being together. even if they were talking about faking a marriage and stuff. But it was a nice deep moment, and they even found out what they needed to, as opposed to Beau and Martin. So once we figure that out, it all comes down to how we're going to get the information. And I did not like the fact that if we had the choice, we had to choose Gabe to be the fake fiance with. Honest to God, that was definitely annoying. I can imagine that. I mean, it makes sense. He's a good actor, but still, they should have given us a bit of a choice on that. We get to the altar. We go for some similar. You go for some similar settings. Try to get some information. We find out some some really key information about Lydia's marriage. In terms of like what we're gonna do, what's happening, etc. We get the information we need, and then I think my favorite part was actually walking out on Gabe with the acting. I mean,
Hmm.
I frankly would have said much worse as opposed to making me a fake fiance, but we'll leave that be. We calm things down. We finally get back to New York. We have the information, but shocker, it goes south again. Beau, being greedy and desperate, decides to take credit for everything by opening his big mouth. But of course,
Yeah.
him being so desperate, I wanted to punch him in the face. But in fact, no, I even had a better idea. And what's even worse is the fact that even when you're in the elevator with like a little later,
Yeah.
once you get that done, Sadie's in the
Mm.
elevator, you go, yeah, 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 he's great, even though he didn't actually do anything, yeah. And she doesn't like it, yeah, because you're supposed to agree with someone who took your idea. I would say personally, I hope next chapter something big happens before the major case and we get to expose Beau. I would personally say, well, we get a big case. Get Beau to do it. He did all this Roswell stuff by himself. He clearly can do it on his own. Throw him into the sharks. Let him suffer. Watch him suffer, and come in and take big credit. Beau deserves to fall. That's all I'm saying. I thought this guy was a punk at the start. I should have stuck with my gut. I hate Beau. I honestly got hate him. Regardless if it's a competition, that's desperation, and he clearly is not skilled enough. Same with Martin. Frankly, those two would make a good couple. They're equally bad. So all I'm saying is, give us a chance to throw Beau into the gutter and to expose him and humiliate him even, especially in front of his aunt. Especially in front of his aunt. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry that
Yeah.
he just infuriated me that chapter.
Yeah, I like whenever you get passionate about this because that's what that's what choices is. That's it feels like it's happening in front of you, and I totally get that. Happened with multiple books in Veil of Secrets. Chief Walsh was like same. The Chief Walsh was getting under my skin, and yeah, I totally agree with your sentiment there.
Oh yeah, the minute there, I wanted to just drop my phone, go to the office and just punch Beau in the face. Like, honest to God. But no, I always thought reverse psychology, find a big case, like personally, I want them to give us another big case that will, you know, that could compromise McGraw. Tell them Beau should do it on his own, and then McGraw get close to falling because of Beau. Honest to God, I want the biggest humiliation for him. Please give us a
Yeah.
humiliation, or at least give us a chance to punch him in the face, preferably
Mm.
both.
Yeah, I mean, I totally get that. And specifically, what was shocking to me is that what happened in the last chapter with this Lydia case. Beau got emotional, said stuff like he knows how it feels. But others some gold diggers manipulating rich kids, lonely rich kids for money. It happened with him. I thought maybe he was getting close, and even when we dress up in the in the I think I don't know, it was a airplane or something. So when we're going to Vegas, and then Martin gets salty and says, "Yeah, it's not that good," and something as he always is, and Beau then says, "Oh, he's looking good. Don't get salty." So I thought maybe Beau and Gigi they are not our friends, but at least they're neutral party. We also improved relationship with them, depending on what we say to choose since chapter 3 or 4. Now then, all of a sudden, Bo did that. It was like, wow. And that also makes me think of what he said when he first met him at the end of first chapter. Bo said, you can join my ultimate team. So at the end of first chapter, when you see Bo, we felt like this Beau guy is kind of shitty, but then the focus shifted to Martin because Martin acted from the bar scene that he wanted to get rid of us. Then Beau sort of behaved like a neutral party, for, like you said, a punk guy, a fun-loving guy, just there because he needed to be there. But then suddenly he snapped and he did that, and all of the people were so stunned. Even Gabe, who was looking at him even before leaving the room. And yeah, I mean the elevator scene. I think Sadie says this is a team, and we want you to stick together. And that was a once down in strategy, and I was shocked quite because it is a
Oh,
truth. So you
definitely.
say the truth, how can your strategy go down? Because and if Sadie is a lawyer, she needs to see through everything. So that was a bit. I think choices. I don't know where they're going with this because then they suddenly did the scene that we can't go against Beau even if he does something because it's not a good strategy. And then Sadie says about the conference that's going to be the main thing in the next chapter where not only the macro brand, but I think a lot of people will be watching us. So I don't know how it's gonna go, or maybe if it's gonna be just a one timer from Beau, or Beau will come around or say something because Martin is already salty on us, or they will just form an ally because they talk about this group. Beau said, like you said, endless possibility. But it would be interesting to see how the next chapter starts because that Beau part, it definitely got me intrigued.
Oh, definitely. Like, one thing that irritates me, Sadie wants the perfect, law firm, highly skilled. How does somebody taking ideas off of someone else who's better than them show they're a good lawyer? Because it just proves the opposite. How is she okay? How is that a downing strategy? He literally milked off of someone else to work, which just proves the fact that he can't do it himself. He can't find the information himself. He's clearly not skilled enough. He shouldn't even be a lawyer at that firm. It's just proving the opposite. The fact that she's siding with him just because she's his nephew and stuff like that. It's just irritating. And I swear to God, I even wanted a possibility where the main character took Aslinn and Gigi and left. They went to Kyong, they went to someone else, and they put McGraw firm in the ground against Beau and Martin easily to prove their point. Hell, I would love that actually. And that
Hmm.
they have McGraw begging them to come back. Please. Honest to God. Honest to God.
Yeah.
In fact, I wouldn't even be surprised if after the first few chapters, Beau and Martin have decided to work together. I know Beau's desperate and he's competitive, but still, I'm guaranteeing you, the fact that he used us just indicates to me that there's a chance he could be using and playing Martin as well to try and get to the top. Although one thing I'm saying, he is not getting that top spot. If he gets that top spot after that, lie, I'm gonna be annoyed. That's my top spot. He's not good. He's not better than me. Same with Martin. I'm better than both of them.
Hmm.
My rant's over.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the top spot. I think it can because, like with Sadie, I think also this thing was brought up in the book. Gigi and others say Aslin were there. They say, well, yeah, in front of the client, the main client, even the one who keeps the macroprine flying, floating in front of them and in front of Sadie. Both says this, but they say, well, it is not going to affect the ranking because Gabe is the one who decides the ranking, right? Then Ashlyn
Mm.
says like, well, the the law firm has the the Magro name written on it, so anything can happen. Now, Sadie's behavior like that. Now, I don't know because if they're hinting at something that even it could be that Sadie is in it too because Sadie knows, or maybe Sadie put Beau up to this. It could be because or Beau had it in himself, so we'll have to see because Sadie's behavior at the end, what would she like assume that? And quite frankly, Sadie is impressed by and Sadie knows what Beau is capable of. Definitely, Beau's been here for a long time. Sadie knows his nephew, and sort of with Gabe, Sadie has seen us solving a lot of cases. So she sort of knows how we behave, how our main character is, and how this case, who can solve this case. So I think that was a really unnatural behavior from her, but it's just a speculation I have. Anything can happen, but yeah. So, but you're right. There could be it like Gabe and Sadie. If they decide the ranking together, then Sadie can put Beau at top, and then we'll be probably at three or something. Martin could be at second, because this would be a big twist. If that happens, it would, like you said, it would be annoying, but it would be like we would be put down unfairly, and this would be a felony, to be honest. And then we will need to expose Bo or just defeat him on a bigger platform. So that can be happening, because I think in one of the game shows, uh, America's Most Eligible on Choices, we get even eliminated from the game and then we come back. So this kind of twist they can have in store for us, but we'll have to wait for the next chapter.
Yeah, all I'm saying is I didn't like Gabe at first, but all I'm saying is now coming back to my point, actually, the fact that we
Yeah.
said I wanted somebody other for the fake wedding, this actually kind of alters my fact. I'm glad Gabe was there. All I'm saying is this is the chance for people for Gabe to turn the rights to turn their opinion, to people to like Gabe, because not many people like Gabe because he's a forced ally. Personally, I might kind of like him, but he better step up and do something about this, because he knows our potential. He put us forward to get here. All I'm saying is he better fight alongside with us. He was there. He knows. He he better help. This will dictate. I think this will dictate one of his futures in the book. If he stays up, if he stands up for us, I think people will respect him a lot more. Even though he's kind of a forced ally, because not many people can like him now. But personally, I respect him more and I like him more if he puts in a good word and he actually does the right thing here, which I think he's done so far. And just give us, please, for the love of God, Pixelberry, give us the opportunity to humiliate Beau. I want him humiliated. He deserves to be humiliated after that. Just let our main character be like, let Beau give the big case. He's clearly good enough. No help, no one else, no team. Let him do it on his own. Watch him downfall in public, please. Just please. I hate Beau so much. I can't stand leeches.
Yeah, that's right. And also how everyone behaved sort of so casually with this. I mean, everyone was surprised clearly, but also the chapter ended after that. It was at the right end it happened. But I was also shocked, like, no one really said, like the reaction was quite casual, So I know the case is bigger than this, but still, you have team and there's a ranking there, and on the ranking, a spot is basically up for grab, and this is a big thing who solves the case. So I think everyone took it so casually. I think, yeah, they wanted to remain professional and sort of not let any cracks, they didn't want to show any cracks that was inside the farm to the person who is keeping them floating, or something they could have thought. But still, I think the reaction was really casual from them when it actually happened. And I don't expect something from Martin or Gigi or Aslinn, because they're just under pressure also, and they were also equally shocked. But I did, like you said, I did expect Gabe to like to say at least a word or something, because the case was already solved. And I know you want to be professional, but what's wrong, right, wrong, and what's right, what right. So if at that exact point Gay would have said, "What you talking about? He solved this. MC solved this," then I think uh, Bo would have been out of words, and he would have been defeated quite easily, and they could have exposed Bo in front of Sadie. But I think that was that. Probably they didn't do that because they're building it up more so that they can reach a bigger uh, issue, and then it would be more interesting to take him down. We'll see.
Yeah, God, I just so infuriated. Give us that chance to put him in the ground. He does not deserve. Personally, me, if I were a lawyer, I'd disqualify him right then and there. I'd put him down for good. No, because you're not using your own skill. You're clearly showing that you're not skilled enough to do much. You just wasted your potential and what potential you had. I'd just get rid of him right then and there.
Yeah. The next chapter, like I said, is gonna be interesting. Like if Sad is behind this, or like what's going on, how we can take Bo, and on the aftermath of this, what's Martin gonna do? Like you said, is Martin gonna join Bo's team, or it's gonna be the antagonist team against MC, or Martin's gonna, because Martin so far a guy who likes law and hates our MC, but still speaks law. So on the aftermath of this, is he gonna join forces with MC, saying that what was that wrong? I'm gonna fight, fair and square and defeat MC, not something like that. So what is going to happen? That would be really interesting to see, because there is possibility both can happen. He can either sell his soul to the devil himself, or he can be with MC and get this over with, and then fight with him. Get back to kind of usual competitions. The saltiness with MC fighting. It would be interesting to see where Martin stands on the aftermath of this. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I just can't stand either of them. They're both not skilled. Well, they're not as skilled. Martin's a bit more skilled than Beau. But like I
Yeah,
said, I even had a vision of this, to walk out with Gigi and Aslinn. It's like Beau is just a leech. He can't do anything for himself. Martin is just blocked by his ego. He can't see the bigger picture. He's too by the book. Personally, they're both liabilities. They're not. They have more liabilities than they have skills. There's just too many flaws against them that actually pit against their actual skills, as opposed to Gigi and Aslin. Gigi is a magnificent researcher. She can analyze pages of information, and she can pick out mysterious info. She's literally a walking bookcase of knowledge. But she also has
yeah,
a really good heart by her. Same goes for Ashlyn. She's strong. She has information on the side. She works with her heart. Personally, best team, MC, Assen and Gigi, Martin and Beau, just a liability, both of them, which is why I felt sorry for Gigi on that team. She was literally paired with two liabilities. So in retrospect, it was a two versus one in that moot court, which was a
mm,
bit unfair. But yeah, personally, can't stand either of them. They're both not skilled lawyers, in my opinion. Yeah, you go to a fancy school and you're the best school, all the main stuff, you get the high grades, but it don't really amount to nothing when you can't get the results that you can by being an actual human being than a walking logic bomb which does absolutely nothing.
yeah. I agree with that. That was that. And Gigi, and even Gigi's not also centered on the competition, as she says all the time. She doesn't even want any credit. That is in contrast with Beau and Martin's behavior. So yeah, that was something. Yeah, Aslin, main character Gigi, they are main character can trust Aslin, definitely love and trust, and main character can also trust Gigi, because the way Gigi has supported from day one, you're right. And Martin hasn't helped the MC solve any important cases like the pro bono case. Gigi also helps MC. Gigi and MC goes there, but MC go there, but I don't think Bo also was there in the first case. I think with that life coach or something. I reckon, but I don't recall Martin helping MC that way, or even Bo after that case. So yeah, it's just that, and I would like to see MC take both Martin and Bo down, and specifically Bo after this. And I think the next chapter could be this, because it's a big conference, and under pressure, everyone would be watching them, and this will not be something that Bo can again rig, or just sputter someone else's idea or steal it, because it's going to be something. It has to come from inside you. So I think it is going to be a big platform for MC to prove himself, then Aslin to prove herself, who could be in the second position, then Gigi Martin, how they do, that would be interesting, and Bo can be the last one here if he falls, if he crumbles under pressure. So this is going to be interesting to see what happens.
Oh yeah, definitely. Bo just like ruins the word team. The fact that regardless if it would be in a competition, it wasn't just a competition, it was to save the firm and work as a team. Bo
Yeah.
took advantage of that and just twisted it. So frankly, the guy doesn't deserve a team, neither does Martin. They deserve to fall on their own egos. And honest to God, I guarantee you the choices community will be over the moon from the satisfaction of taking Bo and or Martin down as well. I can guarantee you the satisfaction will be sweet.
Yeah, after what happened in the last chapter, that would be the process. Looking forward to that in chapter 9, and I will be. I last night, when it released last time, I read it on time. So next week I'm gonna do the same, because it's just getting super intense with this laws of attraction book.
Yeah, definitely. Again, I'm spicing up as well. And one thing I was kind of interested by is, by what's going on. Like, one thing that's kind of annoying is the misleading ads. There was a recent ad release of Laws of Attraction which showed the lawyer flirting with the client they were defending who was on trial for murder. So that's kind of making me think of the story that for this murder trial that we're going to be defending the murderer. So that's a possibility, but also the weird fact of why would possible one night stand or possible third love interest come in to play. I don't see that being announced, but I do see an interesting play of the possibility we would defend the murderer in this case. That kind of would explain, the kind of tense feelings we saw in some of the trailers. So I kind of think that that little ad kind of cleared a few things up if that's the possibility. But yeah, this book's really spicing up. We're only on chapter six. No, not
Like
six.
seven,
Chapter
seven,
seven.
seven.
That's it. So I personally say chapter seven, this court thing. Chapter eight, we take Beau down in something. Chapter nine, murder mystery begins. I'd say that's the good way to bring it out.
Yeah. On the trailers, I think the trailers are not accurate because the trailer is the one that Choices released, in their socials. That's the main trailer, and then there are, I think, parody trailers on YouTube and on other places, sort of where I think I remember Open Heart, where a pregnant woman comes in and Ethan sort of cheats on. I don't know. It says like you're cheating on your wife with. So I think there are lots of parody ads on, so it could be one of those because I haven't because there is an ad also of Crimes of Passion where they say the Crimes of Passion is going to be. Someone brought it to my attention, asking me, "Is this really the plot?" And I watched it, and it said that the MC's boyfriend is an under. I don't know, a ringleader or something underground, and then the person who was a woman who was investigating him is the FBI or something and a secret agent, and then that's how the story begins. And this is not how it is gonna go because our MC is gonna be a FBI, and it's just completely a different plot. So I think these are just parody trailers. But I don't know. I haven't seen him, like I said. But yeah, I don't think the murder mystery we would be defending. But could be because yeah, they say we will be uncovering a dark secret. Now, how it's gonna go, we'll only know when it releases. So I'm exciting for yeah, you're right. Like they should yeah, ninth chapter, but they're doing one story or one thing for two chapters. Now this conference can go for ninth chapter. In that case, from 10th chapter, we'll be having the mystery probably. I don't know. They're making us wait way longer for that murder mystery. And but the things that happened in this chapter kind of spice things up. So we'll be also dealing with Beau issue and this. So yeah, lots of things happening. I kind of bummed that they didn't show the murder mystery case earlier, like what they did in the last chapter, the pro bono case. I think they should had this kind of cases in the side, like the main case, but also uh, they should have started with the murder mystery, and each chapter we will be solving this kind of like Lydia case, big cases, but also in the side for say 5 minutes or something, we'll be solving the murder mystery case, and then last four chapters we'll only be focusing on murder mystery case. If they had gone this route, I think there would have been more time with the murder mystery and then all these other cases. But let's hope that they start it soon.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, we want this case soon. We want it to be we want to have the case coming on soon. We don't want it rushed, but we also don't want it, kind of falling back like foreign affairs. And I'd also like to see, some build up more of the love interest with either Aston or Gabe, whoever you choose. And there's just a lot for this book, and I'm really excited for it. I just can't wait. It's really juicing up now.
Mm, yeah. Yeah, and in terms of love interest, I would agree with you. I think they kind of again divided it, and they showed again why Gabe is the sort of the superior love interest here because the wedding scene they could have easily given us the option. Yeah, they give us the option of Gigi, Gabe, and Aslinn to go to the bar, but I don't understand why they didn't give us the option of Aslinn. But I think it's only because they're focusing on Gabe again, just like Ethan Ramsey in Open Heart. And obviously, depending on that, Gabe is again gets closer to us, and we had all the fun inside as fake couple. Then when we come out, Gabe sort of gets drawn to us. Our lips were so close. I thought that this is probably the moment Vegas we're gonna kiss. No one was around, but Gabe still pulled back. And I think this is really interesting because this is the this is the so far this is I know the best forbidden romance that were happening between Gabe and MC. Because you look at Queen Bee, even we had three or four hookup scenes, or let alone kiss. We had hookup scenes with the professor by chapter 9, multiple. But in this case, we even in this chapter, Gabe was out of the eye of anyone. Even MC and Gabe were totally alone. If they had done something, they could have taken it to another level, and no one would have seen them. And then they could have, like what happened in Nanny Affairs or what happened in Queen Bee or any other books. But this is just super awesome because they get closer, then they get drawn back. So this like sense, um, Beau has, that if he does something, then he would have to carry this. And Beau doesn't stay in something for a short term. We got to know about that 2 or 3 chapters back, and he is in for the long game, and he knows how much it can hurt both of them if he lets himself loose, if he lets his guard down in front of MC. Definitely Gabe feels all the feelings that MC is feeling, and MC also feels, but they both are not ready to, let themselves lose in the moment. So that was a really great, and I think this is developing quite well. But I think with Aslin, there is just as much possibility because no one wants two competitors of a law firm falling into a love affair. So I think they could have given us option of taking Aslin, and I think the time with Ashlyn is getting a lot shorter. I don't remember in the last 3 or 4 chapters if we even had a single diamond scene with Ashlyn. Goes back to the moot court. We had the last diamond scene, I believe, and after that, not a single diamond scene with Ashlyn. So this is, I don't. I think they should now start giving us the choice of choosing either Gabe or Ashlyn, unless it is a story we want to know about Gabe's past or about Gabe. Then that's perfect. But this kind of special scenes, fake marriage or something, they should give us just two love interests. I think I don't see the point why they can't give us the option.
Yeah, definitely. I really, they should give us a choice at this point so we can kind of pursue that kind of love interest throughout the rest of the story. Like kind of be able to make your choice. So you can actually make the options that you want, so you're not kind of forced onto one side. Like we're heavily forced onto Gabe, but people want to be with Aslin. It makes sense to give us a choice so that people can be with Aslin, and stop having these moments with Gabe that they don't want when they want them with Aslin. Could change things up.
Yeah. And also, one quick interesting fact is that this is, I think, really an interesting book because I don't think in Choice's history, all the books I've read, the books that didn't have single love interests, so that had multiple love interests, they had at least 3 love interests. But this is the only book where we have only 2 love interests. This is a really interesting thing.
Yeah, definitely. It's just you want just if you're gonna give us these like not that many allies, then at least give us the choice
Yeah.
to be which one we want. Because it could be different. If you with Aslin, it could play out a bit different. You could have some different scenes, have a complete different view of a story as opposed to Gabe. They could change that up completely. It'll be interesting. So that'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, and I think they should have added another ally after chapter 4 or 3, or even after chapter 6, because they have done it with a lot of books across the void, and even Save the Date. It originally starts with 2 allies, then another ally comes into the play. It's just super interesting. I think in the old days they did it, but they also give us just flings for just one night stand or no strings attached, and we didn't have one in the last chapter. I thought it would be because we went to Vegas, but probably this chapter we're gonna get another one. Then we'll also see what is gonna be their gender, because again, uh, if you give the option, I think, like you said in the last meeting, that it should be a gender customizable fling also, or we should have the chance. Because, or if they just want to do it one male, one female, that's right also. But we'll have to see what they do. But yeah,
Yeah, it really is spicing up to be a good book, but with all these kind of things that we don't like, the random betrayals, the forced ally, kind of the things that kind of shape up not to be a good book. One thing you don't want to do, yes, they are, one guy, but if you're gonna force somebody on to like make someone the main love interest, even though there's a side option, if you're gonna force someone on, at least don't have it gender locked. It shouldn't have been
Yeah.
the high like I don't get the problem, I guess, with having that, but it shouldn't have been gender locked for Gabe. It should have been given the female option. You could have had Aslin, and then you could have had the male female option for the main one. That would have been more fair, and that I don't think people would have had a problem with that. Because it appeals to both genders. But having it gender locked just kind of ruins it. I'd say.
Yeah, I totally agree with that sentiment. Yeah, if Gabe had been just like slow burn, like yeah, Aslin gender customizable, Gabe gender customizable, just like I think Julia and Evie in slow burn. That's a perfect example of how you should do the love interests, because that's the way it should be. Because Gabe is an important character, and then Aslin could have been, yeah, a gender customizable also, or they could have had another male love interest there, so it would have balanced it out. Two, one female, one male, and one gender customizable love interest, totally even. That would have made more sense.
Yeah, it makes more sense. You can always change it up. Like so far, Sloban, we've had Julie, we've had Aslin. You can always change it up to be a guy as the second one. But as long as you've got one gender customizable LI, you should be all right, realistically.
Yeah, that would have made more sense. That would have given more to this Gabe Li, rather than just a male. Because I think love interest, and specifically with the Gabe, I think Gabe is a really interesting character. Also the main character, like Ethan, because Gabe is the one who originally. Saw our cases, and he proposed Sadie to bring us over in this farm. So it's a huge, role he played, and probably we're going to see more about Gabe. So it's just like Ethan, he's an important character. So I think Choices did the mistake again. They did make it race customizable Li, but I think gender customizable would have been the real, success to the story, because that would have only made sense. Otherwise, because I think Aslin it's just because Aslin and Gabe, they don't stand a chance with each other. Aslin is just it's just not an even distribution, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. People may think Aslan's the one that nobody would go for, but in fact, I'm pretty sure. I think realistically, if I'm going by statistics, I'm guessing, I'd say at least over 50% have gone for Aslan instead of Gabe. People still like Gabe, and there's a lot of people still gone for Gabe, but I'd say way over 50% have gone for Aslan instead. So kind of different to the fact that even though they're forcing it onto the ally, it kind of proves my point of not having a forced ally. I guarantee you, if there are statistics, 50% will be over for Aslan instead of Gabe, and that will prove my point of gender locked allies that you're forcing on people is not a good sign.
Yeah. Exactly, because there's more to Gabe and Gabe's story, that it's just gets ruined because maybe people don't want to know it anymore because it's just a gender locked. Yeah, there's a two different thing. Gabe, it could be a mentor, interesting character. That's okay. Even if you're going with two Li, that's okay. Make Gabe gender locked. That's okay. Yeah, we want to know about Gabe's story, what happened to Gabe, and why he has a care for main character. That's also okay, but those kind of moment where we get to probably have a moment with our ally, those shouldn't be gender locked, like the wedding one. It was I think they could have done a better job with that.
Yeah, like I said, statistics. I assume somebody will have statistics. I'll have a look actually. I can guarantee that people. I can just imagine people making statistics based on LIs and how the story goes, how the plot goes. That'd actually be an interesting spreadsheet to look at. But yeah, it just goes to show, if you're gonna make a plot, I'd say make it 50-50 plot, 50%, love interest. Do not have a gender locked AI. I mean, yeah, we do have a gender locked ally, which is Julia, Aslin. That's fair enough to be changed about, but do not have two gender locked AIs, and don't force one onto one people aren't gonna go for. And plus, I don't really think there was much customization for Gabe as well. Not to mention, I know there's not much customization in general for most people, but still, they could have they could have given more options at least. But still, it shouldn't have been gender locked for the first place.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Hopefully they don't repeat the same things in future books. We'll have to see for that. And also the Vegas scene, I can't remember. Alvin, I think Alvin, the guy who was in the charge of that chapel where we were where we went for the fake marriage to get the details of Lydia and Joey. So that was a great thing, just the Vegas, the wild side, and Alvin, how he was dressed. It was giving a good vibe.
Yeah, it did give some good vibes. Kind of appealed more, I guess, to people, but still, yeah, I'd say I'd still stick with the done a lot of airs and stuff. It's just because don't get me wrong, I do like Gabe. He's a good guy. He's strong, he's passionate. A little jealous after one of those chapters, but yeah, still if you're gonna like kind of reminds me of actually it just kind of reminds me of Sloban actually. It makes me seem a bit like Julia is the forced ally, but you've also got Yvette and Everett who are the gender customized ones. Even though it's not like that, it kind of reminds me of it because Julia's the manager. She's the kind of big shot besides Zara. Kind of reminds me of that. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Julia is also, I think, gender customizable ally because there is a male one called Julian, I think.
Oh, actually, yeah, that might be. Actually, let me double check that. That might. I'm not actually sure. I think that might be possible. If that's in, then that's even better. Having two customizable,
Yeah,
gender customizable allies,
that's too
that's even better.
customizable.
Makes sense. Let's just have it. Yeah, you're right. There is gender customizable for both of them. Yeah, it's not just Julia. There's Julia, Julienne, Yvette, and Everett. Yeah, two customizable ones. My mistake, but still, that just makes it that much more better.
Yeah, that's an ideal thing, I would say.
Yeah, 'cause you've got plenty of options to go with there, and you can appeal to both sides. Especially with the way they're doing the slow burn story, it's growing both love interests, which is why I'm really hoping it doesn't like drop a bomb or something where you have to choose in front of them and like one of them, gets hurt or something. Because like you can build up both of them, you build up your relationship with both of them separate, and it's just like you don't wanna go dark, do you? So far, slow burn, I think, besides LOA, is kind of taking an annoying turn. Slow burn's one of my top favorites as well. I just love the
Mm,
way that's growing. It's
yeah,
slowly burning up to be a good
yeah,
book.
yeah, definitely. And about laws of attraction, one more thing I would like to mention, and that is I kind of remember this. Yeah. So the way they solved the case after solving the pro bono case and taking into account the time zones in Hawaii, 3 hours behind this mainland or something. So that was a quite, whoever came up with this. I used to watch um, this kind of a court case show or law show that was like that, and it was super interesting, I would say. Yeah, until both stole it, but the way they came up with it, it was just intelligent, just like organizing the plot, how it is going to be. The post that Lydia posted on her Instagram, I think, a pictogram, sorry, that's what they use, pictogram, at 12:01 a.m. in the morning, in the midnight. And then calculating the Hawaii time, she was one day short from 18 years old, and this it was just a wholesome plot they brought up. I really liked that when MC was explaining this to everyone, and the way the like this is written, because this is a huge. I was like, wow, this is. I didn't expect that way that they would solve the case. It was huge.
Yeah, that was really interesting. I kind of didn't get it at first, but it was still really interesting to see, and I did really like it. It was like I said, thinking outside the box, something Beau and Martin could not do, which
Yeah.
again is something the main character did, which was really interesting. So that just proves my point again. Main character is clearly more skilled, if the fact that he can doing something like that, including different time zones and traditions of countries and stuff like that. That's thinking completely outside the box. That's just proving my point even more.
Mm. Yeah, that was really sharp. That was smooth, and I really liked the fact also. At the far at the beginning when we were going to Vegas, not only just MC but other people like Martin, Beau, they also changed cloth. Including Aslin. So Aslin, this cloth was looking really awesome. So I like that they changed the outfits because that is not the case in all the books.
Yeah, it's nice to see a different change of clothing. Like, I get the lawyers, they have to be formal a lot, but, that doesn't it doesn't hurt them from being still living their lives. I know that being a lawyer and solicitor like that takes up a big portion of your life, but still you've got to live your life regularly. But get into some casual wear, have some fun, maybe some formal nice wear instead of just suits. Like some for events and stuff. Like still have fun. Work hard, play hard, live life.
Yeah, definitely. And also one thing for the next chapter, haven't seen Ryan in last couple of chapters. So would like to see Ryan in the next chapter. And I think he can have a big role to play because also it's going to be inside and all eyes are going to be on us. So maybe we can have some life-saving insights or quick tips from Ryan in the next chapter.
Oh yeah, I'd love to see Ryan come back because unlike Beau, he's loyal. He actually works with us, and like I said, that kind of builds up on our ultimate team, which is Gigi, Aslin, and Ryan. Get Ryan in this team, and you go against Beau and Martin. Gigi, easy, no questions asked.
Yeah. Now
Just
you
perfect.
mentioned about the dream team. I think it could be a possibility because Ryan mentioned not going to. We say, hey, you should go to the law school, and Ryan says, yeah, but I'm in a huge student debt already. Now it helps me as a if the work here in Macrobrine as a paralegal, it helps me, uh, you know, for with my paychecks. So why not? So I think yeah, it could be the case because I think I don't see why Ryan wouldn't be going to a law school by the end of this book. So yeah, the theory you mentioned, we leaving this, or maybe some a big change happening inside Magro Brian, so that Ryan can be promoted to a lawyer, maybe a junior associate. This would be a huge plot by the end, and I think there could be something like this.
Yeah, definitely. Ryan has got so much potential, and he reminds me of us. He's a good guy. He works well with others, unlike the other two. He'd make I'd say he'd be like the protege of the main character. I think.
Yeah, it could be the case. So excited for the next chapter. We'll have to see what happens because this has really got me hyped up. This has got me hyped up since the last chapter. A lot of things happen. I don't know, Gabe thing. This Eli distribution you're talking about. Want to have more time with Ashley. Want to see what happens with Mark now on the aftermath of this betrayal. Definitely this betrayal. Why Sadie's acting so sus? And this conference, and then when they're gonna include the murder mystery. I mean, a lot of things at stake, and can't wait for the next chapter. Quite frankly.
Yeah, I just can't wait. It's just getting more better each week. I'm just hoping it actually lives up to its. I'm just hoping it keeps up to this and lives up to it. It's gonna be really good.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. Just in 2 days, it's gonna be released. Excited.
Yep, just can't wait. Bring it on. Let's see what we get.
Yeah, it'll be fun. So now moving on to some things that we covered. Laws of attraction, but slow burn. Did mention about it spicing up, slowly burning up. How's it going, slow burn?
That's spicy really, man. That is definitely hit a spicy part. So we finally realized that we're meeting up. We've got to go to Antoine. It doesn't end well. We're able to convince Yvette this is a chance to move on. She's different. A year's passed, and then we set out to our next location, which is in fact Vietnam. I can't remember where exactly, but Vietnam, an absolutely beautiful place in the story and real life. I actually want to go there at some point. We finally meet. Um, we get to Antoine's restaurant, which is named Le Colonel, and there was another name to it which references to something in the story that I can't recap off the top of my head. I'm sorry. It's
Yeah.
something against Yvette, which she doesn't like. I can't remember what though. It starts off rough. You can clearly see why Yvette doesn't like him. He's clearly not. He's like he's like a wannabe Gordon Ramsay, but like people don't respect him at all. He took over against his manager, who has potential, skill, and a lot of recipes. He shuts him down non-stop. He just go in the back, and he even explains he called us here to work on his management and his skills, when in fact the problem is Antoine's food and methods. They're just completely wrong. It's him. He realizes, oh yeah, I've called you in for the wrong reasons. Apparently, you amateurs, and it's like, how can we? are making 5-star restaurants 5 stars with new restaurants went and just big we can make yours as well, but you just can't get past your own ego, which is a bit like Martin actually with the ego.
Hmm.
A serious human flaw, ego, honest to God. So yeah, constant, bickering, moaning. It's an absolute nightmare. Uh, of course, we were able to steal the manager away. I can't remember his name, Kugan or something. We make one of his special recipes, which adds into the thing. It's like a sushi rolls or something. I remember. They sounded quite delicious actually. And then it's time to cool down a bit. We get an intimate moment with the vet. We get to go on a scooter, get a tour around Vietnam, have a little heart to heart, learn stuff. We even have a little nice night out, and it is a really deep moment between those two. Once we get back to set, it gets really chaotic. It's literally like just honest to God, like children bickering. It's non-stop fighting between the two of them, Antoine and Yvette. Even a small fire breaks out. Of course, thank God for sprinklers. And then that's when Antoine reveals he's trying to build up a new show and things for Paris, and he challenges Yvette to come on his show to outcook him, and that's where we're left off with. Yvette left with the challenge to go to Paris and outcook Antoine, which I think will be a really spicy episode, but I also think Yvette can easily win. The fact that Antoine's already collapsed with his restaurant in Vietnam because of his food just proves that he doesn't have the capacity to evolve and adapt as Yvette does. So personally, I think it's an easy win for Yvette.
Yeah. That would be super interesting to see what happens. And well, this book is definitely. I mean, the amount of places we go, the amount of culinary differences we pick up, the cultural differences, different opinion, different people. So it's just the wide worldwide travel we do. It's just a great, right?
Yeah, definitely. And the travel is just absolutely amazing. There's so many places in the world I want to go to: the Maldives, Vietnam. Where else? Got Denmark. It just reminds me like food is a perfect way to travel as well. Like that's two birds with one stone, you could say. You get to travel, explore beautiful places, and explore the food. One thing I love learning about is the different food, people's traditions, how things are
Yeah.
done. It's just an interesting way to see how life is lived by many different people in beautiful ways, in beautiful places. It really is amazing. Honest to God, this book brings out the best of what the world can be and how people can view the world. This book is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. It's just super awesome, and the different cultures, different festivals, even, and festival is kind of related to food also, different foods during different festivals and the taste, how they're made, and it's just super awesome even to taste the food, different foods, and just to be a part of the festivals. It's just sometimes I watch, different like on BBC they have this travel show and this food show, and then like in China, Japan, and then different places like mainly States, and then Australia, then like it's in Maldives. So I know it's just super awesome to get to know about those festivals, foods, and traditions. It just makes a day. Even like traveling the landscapes in some different places, maybe, or having wedding in some different parts. So yeah, that's just good.
Yeah, it's just I personally, I think choices could do with making one of those like voting things. Like there's a group of people, there's a organization called Random Encounters who make musicals based on movies and video games. They have some really good work there, writers and singers who do both. They have every year and so, or every few months, they hold like events of which of their best musicals get the awards and which of their like guest singers or their writers and stuff. I think they should do something like that. Have like some of these events where you can highlight some of your like maybe highlight community members, like so they submit ideas, they highlight those ideas, they highlight their writers, they highlight stories, and they highlight love interests, all sorts. There's just so much you can do with it. They just seeing the bigger picture would be amazing. Like so say for instance, what would, in your opinion, be the highlight book of this year so far? Out of the books we had, what would be your highlight book of 2021 for choices?
You asking me, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Like a new genre, right?
yeah. So out of the books that we have now, so Laws of Attraction, Slow Burn, even if they're not finished, what would you say out of the books you read this year, Open Heart, Baby Bump, all of them? What would you highlight as the best book or the most popular book? No, yeah, best book of 2021 for choices.
So like I said, so far, so I can't say it's zombie or crimes of passion because we don't know what's waiting us there. But I think it's a hard one. So even I think Foreign Affairs kind of released this year because just one chapter, two chapters released last year's December. I would say um the defining book would definitely be, I would say, so far what's happening. I'm not caught up with the slow burn that much. It's going good. I listen from it, but I'm not really caught up with that book. But to me, the defining book I would say so far is Foreign Affairs, kind of because or and Open Heart too. These two books, because for and Open Heart is just solely because it has a history, not because it's third book, but just because it's history. When your shadow precedes you, that's what happens, and that's Open Heart 3. It's just a shadow preceding the body. But Foreign Affairs, I thought it had so much potential at the start, and then the story, the allies, it was really great. With Blaine, I liked the plot. Then Tatum, they had distinct plots, and then Aina, my love interest, who I chose. And at the end, when Aina betrays MC, and then how why we know why she betrayed us, and then sort of we see her father's cancer and stuff. So the way it went on, I think it had so much potential, and sort of till chapter 14 or 15, it defined how choices books can be. It got me hyped up. But then the book sort of, like, the rushed ending, what happened with Foreign Affairs, what we're talking about, we don't want to see again in Slow Burn, I'm sorry, Laws of Attraction. So I think that book really defined the year for me in choices, because that's been a really great book. And so far, Laws of Attraction, it's been good, but it's still a long way to go. Again, I don't want it to have the same outcome as Foreign Affairs did, but I would say Foreign Affairs has been a really highlight for the book. Now, a success is not. I personally believe that if a book is a hit or success, that only doesn't define the highlight, but it's just failure also, because Foreign Affairs, I think they have a lot to learn from this. Because first, positives, the positive was, the first thing that the the customizable main character, and a book of gender of choices, not just male female, but you get to choose a third gender. I think that is really inclusive. And then with love interest, main love interest, gender customizable, Blaine. Then two, male and female ally, but sort of having equal route, with them, and with any of them having a scandalous relation or forbidden romance, until chapter 14, where we have totally Blaine dominance. I think that could have been changed. But overall, a lot of positive things, how things go up and down. We also, in that chapter, go to different places. Of course, imaginary places, different kingdoms. We meet different cultures, Dion, and a lot of great characters. The relationship between Dion and Peter, the forced arranged marriage. Those things really got me hyped up there. A lot of things to look forward to. And then also, like I said, the failure, and that is the rushed ending, and how they did not do justice to a great book. So I think this could be the highlight. Like, they really started off well, and in the middle lost space, then kind of gathered back the momentum, then again lost it and totally got run out. So that is just something I would say, and that it's a defining book so far. So far, Foreign Affairs is a defining book. And Open Heart, because I just think it is just end of an era. Because 2019, I started reading Open Heart book one, then book two came out, it was really hit. And specifically in the era of pandemic, the book two released, and it had a great stuff. But then book three, people were waiting for, it was good at first, then kind of it felt like uneventful, and then it ended. So it's just a highlight because, like I said, the shadow preceding the body, that because it's the history it has. So it ended. So it's the end of an era, one of the earliest books and choices. So yeah, that's it. What would you say?
Personally, I'd say in terms of finished books, I'd probably go with Baby Bump. I like I haven't really read much of the series yet, but I've seen like little clips and highlights of all the chapters playing out. Like especially on the second one. The second one was really good, in my opinion, from what I've seen so far. There was a wedding moment between the main character and Li, which I think was a really nice touch for the ending. You know, could finish it off, having a nice time with the children, getting to know them. Personally, I think that would go for this book of this year. And if not, in terms of non-finished books, I would go slow burn. I would say if slow burn keeps burning up as it does to the ending, I think that would overtake it as book of the year. But it is between those two so far, or even the nanny affair too, depending on how that pans out. One of
Yeah,
those
yeah.
three, I'd say. But yeah, I'm actually asked on Twitter what what would everyone say is the best book of 2021 for choices so far, and maybe do something at the end. You know, maybe play choices will start doing polls or something. Who knows?
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, the nanny affair. Yeah, it has a potential, but if you just count the unreleased books, I would say it's just gonna be a big year because I don't think Crimes of Passion is gonna be a book of this year. Maybe just 2 or 3 chapters will be released this year. Same thing can happen with Zombie also. Maybe I think if it releases in October, it'll get some time. But watch out for Queen Bee, and because Queen Bee one was a big hit, even it was hit way better than Nanny Affairs book, according to a lot of people. They even liked it better than they liked Nanny Affair. So well, Queen Bee can totally steal the show depending on how they go with, because I think there's more mystery in Queen Bee. There is already a big plot around Queen Bee too, so it could be the book to watch out for.
Yeah, definitely. You know, it's like I said, there's so much possibility for the books, especially with what's coming out this year. I'm just really excited. I just can't wait. You know, it'll be
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, I think the second half of this year is going to be way more interesting than than the first half was.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And also, yeah, this is going to be very interesting. Can't wait for all the releases. And yeah, I'm totally, I'm ready, and I'm totally just hyped up, totally, geared up for Nanny Affair book too. Just can't wait to read it.
And only 2 weeks left.
Yeah.
Countdown's begun. I'm already waiting.
Yeah, I think just one chapter will be released every week. So first week also it's going to be one chapter because it's a second book. We'll see.
Yeah, it makes sense. But regardless, I just can't wait. I just hope. I've been having a lot of like. I've been kind of like fearing it, you know, with all the bad possibilities that could happen. I'm just hoping it goes on a positive note.
Yeah, I hope that happens too. That is needed. Because this has great potential, and I think it would live up to our expectation. Depending on what the tease does in or the question and answer section of the Nanny Affair last year, or as to they just gave a glimpse of what could happen. I don't think it's going to be a failure, but I think it is going to be even more interesting, and even more appealing than the first book. That's what I thought when I read those question and answers from the TNA writers. So, but we'll see.
Yeah, definitely. You know, it's I'm just really excited to see how it goes. You know, there's like a lot happening. I just can't wait.
Yeah, let's see what happens. Um, Now, talking of a very scandalous proposal, so the this chapter, it was eventful, but not that much because it's just an intermediate chapter, I guess, because the drama that will happen that will take place in the next chapter. It's just a pathway to that. How did you like this third chapter of a very scandalous proposal?
It was an interesting chapter to see. You know, we just left off. We started this engagement thing. You know, got to start learning about what we got to do and how this is going to play out. You know, we finally meet up. We get the offer to join Ava or Simon at what was it? Some sort of dog event or something to get a lay of the land and get some information on her family before we go
Yeah,
to the actual dinner to meet them,
yeah,
which will be a bit of a bombshell. You know, we learn that her grandmother enjoys cheese, which is a bit of an odd one. She also enjoys jazz, Billie Holiday, I believe. Yeah, so
mhm,
you can actually appeal, but they also respect someone who stands their ground as well, someone who's strong, you know, to not step over themselves or anything. So that it's useful information. You find out how much the Montjoy is a pet, bit of a pet fanatic, or you could say a pet whisperer. We also meet some interesting characters, and then we finally cook up. We have to find the dress for the wedding. The wedding? What am I saying? For the dinner. Get to meet up with good old Nigel, who was able to pick out an interesting dress, which was apparently a highlight. We also got to see Ava and Simon in their outfits, very spicy, whilst rolling up to the Barrington estate in a stylish Rolls Royce car, which I guess it's stylish, but doesn't enhance the performance. We get there, we get to meet everybody. We meet an interesting character. We meet Tommy, who is in fact
Yeah,
their best friend.
yeah.
In the room before we go in, we also meet what's her name, little waitress, C- Cecile something. I'll remember it at some point.
Oh, the
Which
accountant.
no, the young. She's I don't want to say waitress because she's not butler. That's it. She's like a butler basically. Cecile or something. You go through. You meet the Montjoys. You meet Gerald, the hard-headed brawn man. You also meet Mitzi, or Margaret, one or the other. You start to get to know them. You can appeal more to them. They also make a interesting crack about Americans. I can't remember what it was, but and then one of the choices you have is to kind of agree with it and stand your ground, which they are
Yeah.
impressed by, because
Mm,
it's better to admit something than make a fool of yourself trying to spin to it.
mm,
And you also can appeal to the grandmother of her love of cheese and Billie Holiday as jazz music. That's when things kind of hit a bombshell with the fact that Ava says you're engaged, and that it's starstruck, because they didn't expect it. Everyone goes through. You then meet up with. You then go for. You can have a diamond scene, which will be. I would say diamond scenes are quite valuable to getting the good ending, in a way,
mm,
because you need to make good allies. You get to know the grandmother a bit more. You get to understand her, have a bit of a heart to heart. Then that usually goes well. You meet up with everybody else. That's when you're with Ava and you're like, so what's next? Is that it? It's like, oh good God, no. That was the easy part. Now
yeah.
you get to go into the next part of this scandalous proposal, which is going public, and that's where we left off. The fact that you will need to announce your public engagement and have an engagement party. So it's been a bit of an interesting chapter, but overall I think it went quite smoothly. To say this proposal went off a bit smoothly.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the last part when Ava said it was the easy thing. I was like,
Mm,
what? I mean, because Ava said, all those. If we didn't know all this information from the diamond scene, I think we could have messed up seriously with her grandma. And I don't know, but yeah. So the public exposure, we need to get public with our relationship. And I think at the first chapter, at the beginning of the first chapter, they show us that people are talking about us. So I think that was the glimpse of what's going to happen in the next chapter. But yeah, pretty much excited about what's going to happen. And yeah, like I liked some things from this chapter. When Ava, we go, the way she dresses up, it was really good. I liked the dress, the outfit of Ava and MC. If you buy diamonds, and Nigel's inclusions, I always like. And then also, when we get inside, Ava leaves us for a moment, and then we were like a deer lost in a headlight, because we were totally lost inside without Ava, and we're kind of freaking out. So that kind of set up, sort of we were missing Ava. So I like that part a bit. Then Tommy comes in, and then we sort of get really comfortable with Tommy, and we say, "Wow, we're gonna be the best friends." So I can't wait to see more of Tommy, because I think Tommy is gonna be a really interesting character and a lifesaver, could be. We'll see, but yeah, it's getting really spicy with Afa and everyone. The way the scandal, the name of the books, it is going to be really justifying. And I'm really little bit heartbroken, because I didn't see anything about. I thought maybe they would be giving us one scene to get collect the letters of the 13th Duke, that very scandalous, and about forbidden love, So that dirt, I thought I was thinking that maybe we would get to know about that in this chapter, but we didn't get to know anything. So next chapter perhaps. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's just spicing up. It's just setting the stage for the big things that are going to come in the next chapters. So yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, definitely. It makes sense. You want the information, but you've got to start this off smoothly. You want to focus on getting the engagement, winning everybody over, like or winning the major players over, and getting a good neutral standpoint. Because once it's over, people will just see you as, oh, you're just hey, future daughter-in-law, fiance. Just get used to kind of adjust life until the wedding, until the wedding. Just kind of getting to know everybody, start setting up events, kind of laying back a bit whilst you set up everything, and getting a lay of the land before you start digging for info. It makes sense. They're making a good setting so far.
Yeah. Yeah, and from the chapter descriptions, it's pretty clear that it's just gonna get more interesting when we're gonna go deeper into this. And like I said before, you got to give a book 6 chapters, because I have seen it choices books. Whenever you give a book 6 chapters, after that, automatically this book becomes interesting. I don't know why, because it's just how it is set up or not. But after 6 chapter, every book you pick up, other than of course any book, to be honest, yeah, even I think Witness would be the same. So after 6 chapter, it just becomes interesting automatically. So I'm just waiting how it goes. Like I said, it's just setting up the pace, and you can see from the chapter description, it's gonna get way more interesting from chapter 7 or something.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, but the reviews of the book have been good so far. I can imagine it being a good, good mix of the book. Like I don't think it's gonna revolve. I don't think the whole book's gonna be, fulfilling the scandal. I think there'll be something. There'll be some sort of twist, most likely.
Yeah.
I'm eager to see it. And hopefully it could be a test even. Like there could be something to test the love of Ava and the main character. Because like that's one thing in a relationship and in a love that's kind of that makes it stronger. A test to show how much you care and how much well,
Yeah.
willingness and stuff like that. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, and I really love this kind of romances where we start off as just hitters some point, because we're not on good terms with Ava. We're still kind of not, but we're just on an agreement, fake fiance, husband and wife sort of. So and then partners from them, the fake partners. How can we become real partners? This journey is gonna be worth it. So can't wait to complete it.
Yeah, just gotta keep waiting. Now the next episode drops this Wednesday. That's gonna be really good. I'm gonna be really good to see that along with Lords of Attraction. It's gonna be exciting.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to read Laws of Attraction first, and then a very scandalous proposal. But yeah, both the books are going to be fiery.
I like to end off with Avsp after Lords of Attraction, whether it's a good chapter or a bad chapter. I just like to end off with a good scandalous proposal.
Yeah, yeah. Just ending off with like Ava, and because like the way the romance is that, and all the
Being
mysteries of
uplifting.
royal family, it's just a different feeling. Yeah, I would always like to end up, because the things that happen in Laws of Attraction is just a good chill down. What we get in a very scandalous proposal.
Ends off on like a good sentiment, I'd say.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, boy, I can't wait for the next chapter. Also, like, this is just the big Wednesday again.
Definitely.
And now the It Lives Beneath stream. So you haven't read it, but you watched the stream. So did you catch up on the last 3 chapters? The ending of It Lives Beneath.
Oh, did I? I literally pulled. I would say an all-nighter, but I the stream lasted definitely a lot longer than I expected. It started around 12:30 midnight my time, and it went through till about 6 a.m. So
Damn.
I did, yeah, I stayed up, watched the whole thing, pretty much collapsed right after. So
Oh.
well, but it was definitely a really good finish, spicy finish. Like when we got through to chapter 14, there was a lot in that chapter. Just to say it was
Mm,
one chapter, there was a lot in it. It started off as, Chief Kelly behind us. Parker does a smooth takedown, very noble. He disarms and dismantles his weapon, and ends off on a good turn. We find Elliot, like well managed to escape. We managed to meet. We get the support of everyone else. We managed to get away. And that's when we starting to figure out we still need to get to the center, and we find an interesting type of door mechanism. It's a viewing chamber and a depressurization chamber, but both are kind of flood filled. And of course, knowing Kat, she kills everybody twice. Shocker. Uh, first he tries, she messes up. Well, I say messes up. She purposely does it, and then we finally get to the viewing chamber, and that's when we start to oh no, before the viewing chamber. No, yeah, we're in the viewing chamber. We start to locate. We're not far off now, but that's when he realizes we need to get Elliot, uh, um, and good old Gramps out because at this point, they're kind of liabilities. You don't want them to get hurt, and they're also kind of like not as strong as everyone else. So you send them on their way, but that's when you find the last letter, which is an absolute jaw drop. And I would say Mr. Grandpa's lucky because you find out that in fact Josephine was betrayed by her husband, a
Yeah.
grandfather, which was a complete jaw drop for everybody.
Mm.
Um, it was so deep, just to find out that, he cares about her, but yet he betrayed her. It was such a dark feeling, It's,
Mm.
and you can tell what it is when you go further on, but then you get to choose to have a heart to heart with one of the characters. Kat chose Imogen because, of course, her being the lowest, she's had an absolute, honest to God, she has been hurt so much in the story. Both her parents turn into society monsters. She loses her horse. It's just even, oh god, she has a strong heart. I'll give her that, and she is strong after all she's been through, especially with the cat keeping her up on the nerves. And that's when you decide, well, when you decide, you have to, you make the uh you make the choice to go through the chamber alone to free Josephine. You get the Marlin spikes out, and somehow you survive because once you've pulled the last one out, you're practically out of breath and you practically collapse. But then once you do, you wake up and you have the Marlin spike weapon with you. You're able to turn the tide of the fight that's going on in there, which eventually goes a bit rough. But that Marlin spike definitely turns the tide with its kind of like plague. Uh, you finally get the upper hand. You eliminate Kelly and Vincent. Um, Astrid leaving them behind with her dirt monster running away. And that is when you meet Josephine, because, well, of course, she's the one causing havoc, but you meet the real her, the essence of her, which is rather attractive, I must say. Uh, but even Kat will agree with me there. You do get through to her because she knows that you're her grandson. Um,
Mm.
she appeals to you, appeals to your friends, your family. It seems good until you mention the death of your parents, and then she goes a bit berserk once again,
Yeah.
and you realize that you have literally just unleashed Armageddon across everything. And that cuts chapter 14. We had an interesting point there. We then go off to chapter 15, where you're trying to escape and get out. Gotta go after her, and that's when you realize the damage is pretty much done. The town is in ruins. It's practically over flooded.
Yeah.
Josephine has caused, honest to God, Armageddon. She's flooded half the town and unleashed her monsters, killing everyone and everything in sight. She's, honest to God, trying to create a massacre right at this point. You're doing what you can. You save a group of people, but of course, I think due to Cat missing one weapon, she lost someone, which was a bit of a ruffian sub. I guess in a way, he looked like he deserved it. But she was able to save everybody else, the civilians. And you also get some interesting help from Noah, the
Yeah.
ghost essence from It Lives. He comes in, absolute monster, comes in slaying, offering assistance as well. Absolutely putting up a fight. He definitely turns the tide of the fight against, like, to their favor. It was actually really, I again with the crossover, I loved having, they had their own little essence creature on their side. They had. And it was nice to bring back Noah, and it would have been the main character I've seen in different playthroughs. It would have been the main character as well
Yeah.
from Noah coming over. So you could have helped yourself in a way if depending on your ending from the first one. But
Yeah.
it was a nice sentiment, and it was good to see. And we also did see the return of Imogen's horse Diabolos, who she was able to reconnect with and bring back to their side. So in a way, she was brought back strong because she had a horse back who put up an amazing fight. They got the civilians to the police station, which was surprisingly fortified against creatures, and they had to get out. Still, they had to make a difference. They had to get out. Main character needs to realize he needs to get out. He needs to get to Josephine because she realizes she knows who her targets are. You manage to get to the dock only to find Astrid and a dirt monster there, but that's when Josephine's already waiting, who then, quickly and viciously eliminates one of her last targets in front of Imogen again, who's just watched her mother die. She gets a little mini revenge scene with the monsters coming at her, with the end, but at the end, Imogen's just broken in a way. She's lost her parents, everything she cares about. She still
Yeah.
has a horse in a way, and that's when you need to make the final decision to which I've heard is quite deep if you don't have the nerve score high enough or something. And it's well, I've still yet to go through it again. Um, what else? Yeah, so you decide you need to go on your own, and that's when it gets really deep as well. Imogen, you're about to say, he wants to say goodbye, but Imogen's like, nope, you're not saying goodbye. Oh, everyone's just like mad. You're not saying goodbye. You're coming back. Don't even think about it. You know, being really supportive. It was a nice touch of the friendship. The friendship that built up, like the first story, it built up. It's strong. You go on to, and that's when you go on to meeting back to face the actual demon itself. You I think that cuts to the next chapter as well. You even see a rich guy who met a deep fate as well, which was interesting touch. Which goes to the next chapter, which I believe it is, which is the showdown. You get to the house, you find your grandfather, you find Josephine. It's where it all comes out. You find the point of view of what happened to Josephine. She was captured by the society. She was
Mm.
then forced, even with her husband there, to give up her power, which they then dumped her in the water and left her to die, and used her. That's pretty much dark. You understand her feeling, and frankly, a lot of people wanted to give her the satisfaction, give her revenge, but I guess in a way, the main character wouldn't. They arm themselves up with the ruin armor, which you unlock from getting all the weapons. Well, at least one weapon from each side, um, and you're able to have a bit of a hand against Josephine, even though she's desperately saying she doesn't want to hurt or do anything. To say you're going out of your way to get revenge, even to hurt people, that's doesn't really show much empathy for a dead ghost. And that's when you're putting up a good fight, but the tide's getting turned pretty heavily. She manages to fling a marlin spike into the chest of your grandfather somehow, being
Mm.
strong enough to at least hold through it. That's when you realize something when they try to take your blood, they can take away the power the same way. He recites the ritual, and he's able to defeat Josephine. She's lost and gone. Grandfather's injured, but somehow still strong. That's where it kind of cuts to black at that point as well. Yeah, it cuts off, and final fight's over, and that's when you go into the final chapter, which is the kind of epilogue. You
Yeah.
Everything's kind of clearing up, everything's repaired, you're living life back to normal. You wake up as a dream. You're getting ready to get to know everybody. You're with your little brother, your grandfather, getting to know everyone. You can choose to go out and explore as well. Get to see Elliot and Robbie together, which was a nice sentiment. You also get to kind of just have a nice day out before you go to the picnic, and you get to know everyone. You get to go see everybody as well. So you get to see Parker, who's the new chief of police. Imogen, who is selling her house, selling her things to give to charities and stuff, and like, give to help people. You've got Danny, who's building up, who works for a Click It or something, a new organization about the dam and stuff. She's building up
Yeah.
stories when wanting to make a good journey for her and her family. And then you've got Tom, who's continuing his little job, working for the grandfather, working on those boats. I think
Mm.
that's everybody. And then most of them vowed that they're gonna work to fight against
Yeah.
what happened. And
Mm.
then you finally got to the picnic. You get to have this nice afternoon out with everybody. You get to have a nice evening out. You do also get the chance of a very intimate diamond scene, which I have seen of both Danny and Imogen. because I had to see both of them because I still can't pick between the both of them. I still love both of them.
Yeah,
There's actual a deep part of it which you kind of missed on Cap's like kind of stream, is like one of them is Danny's worried about the long term relationship not working out, which
yeah,
kind of does, and then Imogen's worried about being cheated on, which is kind of upsetting. But you're able to reassure them, and you're able to care for them, and keep that relationship going. And then it goes on to what was after that? Oof, I think that's when my memory goes a bit foggy. I get really tired at that point. I know there's a moment where you're walking on and it cuts to black. You run into the last member, which is Richard,
yeah,
who kidnaps you and he locks you in a coffin, dumps you underwater, actually a very deep. It's a serious moment. It's a do or die moment, quite literally. I haven't seen the ending if the character dies. Apparently, it's very sad as well. But in Cat's one, she's able to fight her way out with the nerve, and she finally kills Richard. Gets that vengeance for
yeah,
her family. It's like I think she kind of hesitated a bit, which I can understand. She's been very merciful up to this point. It's understandable, but this is the guy who's gone at nothing to kill you, to kill your family, to stop everything, and it makes sense. And not to mention you're friends with the guy's son as well, Robbie, who is getting together with your brother, who's been worried so far about the bodies coming in. So it's been going a bit back and forth, what's gonna happen? You're gonna go back and say, "Oh, hey, Robert, hope you don't mind. Your dad tried to kill me, so I killed him first. So sorry." Just be like, could have gone a bit south. Um, but you're able to fight back. You dealt with the last, the very final, well, the last loose end, I guess. Um, oh, actually, did Cat kill him? I think she killed him. I'm pretty sure she did. As far as I know. She may have actually spared him. That could just be me thinking of the other playthrough I watched. But then it cuts to the bar scene, which was a bit random. It's just your main character's been killed. Then it goes on to we see Connor
yeah,
meeting with another crossover. We get Jocelyn from the very
yeah,
first one, who I have to say did kind of freak me out. But given the injuries she sustained, it's understandable. She does look a bit freaky now. She looks
yeah,
very
yeah,
intimidating, which is understandable again with how she played out. She took a heavy hit, but she still survived strong. It's where Connor explains to her the situation. She she understand. It makes sense. Given what she went through, given what she fought past. He then lets her in and lets her, understands her what happened. Of course, she finds it a bit hard to believe going on, but that's when he explains everything that's happened, and that's when it's where we actually get the feeling that there's a potential for a third book. You know, they talk about forming a society, a different society that plans to stop these attacks before they ever happen, to stop the monsters from even emerging. They want to bring Jocelyn in on it, and we even have the little throwback of whoever's a part of it. In Cat's story, it's in fact her main character Cat, but it's also Noah who survives another one in another series, and that's where it just cuts to black. And it's
yeah,
just it's such an annoying. It's like you get the end credits, it lives beneath, but completed, blah blah. But the end of that just gave you the perfect setting for another book. It was so stupid they cut it off there. It would have
yeah,
made sense to make a perfect trilogy. That would have made a perfect trilogy.
yeah,
And that's where it cuts off. It lives beneath, the It Lives series gone through. Cat surprisingly able to keep everyone alive, two for two. Very surprisingly, I must say. Um, but I heard she is going to go back through to get some of the dark scenes. I'm definitely going to look back through it to see some of the different endings. It's gonna be a great. It was definitely an interesting book. Definitely worth the night up. I mean, I did pass out literally. I just hit the power button and just clocked out right after. I kind of had to bring myself back together because I kind of lost myself of what was happening. But regardless, it was an amazing book. The one thing I'm kind of annoyed at is the fact that we didn't see a kind of little end bit after Richard tried to kill the main character. Maybe talking to the main character, maybe talking to the love interest, have a little one more heart to heart with everybody, another group gathering, end off. But no, it was still a really good book, still a deep moment. and I'm just a bit sad we won't see any more of it. Really, I mean, there is in fact the current fan book creation that's coming out. It Lives Within, which is being created by a group of people. It's looking to be really good so far. They've had an amazing trailer, I've heard, and I think they've dropped some writing for the first chapter. It's looking to spice up really well, and I think who knows, maybe choices might reach. Well, choices might. I think the best thing to do, see how this book plays out. If it turns out to be amazing, which hopefully it is, maybe Pixelberry will ask them to officiate it, bring it in to the. It would make sense for them to ask them if they could
Yeah,
bring it into Choice's app and officiate it as a book to
yeah,
complete the anthology, to put it
mm,
together, but give them the credit, because the credit only credit. I mean, so far it's it's been an amazing series, and I really hope that this little fanfic turns out to be an official book that they add in. It's spicing up
mm,
really well so far. It just proves that the fact that Choices and Pixelberry need to get off the fact of cutting off good books. Avsp, The Nanny Affair, which was I think, well no, that was predicted. Queen Bee, I think, not Foreign Affairs. What else does as a sequel?
mm,
We've got Queen Bee, we've got Avsp. It Lives. Yeah, man. Just stop cutting off the books that deserve good sequels. Open Heart, which actually, in all fairness, I don't think that deserves a book four. I stand on my rule of trilogies, and I think Cat agrees with me as well.
mm,
Yeah, trilogy, definitely at least a sequel for those books. I mean, come on. But so far, it's been a great series so far. I'm really eager to see what Cat goes with. She's had some interesting picks. Wishful Thinking, I think, was one. A very scandalous proposal, obviously one, but I would definitely be interested to see a very scandalous proposal as well as wishful thinking, but I'm very very eager to see. Her streams
mm,
have been amazing so far. Especially, I'm really gonna miss the Imogen voice. It was like a cute, bratty teenager, but in a nice way. It's like, oh my god, it was just it was so funny, but it just matched Imogen so much. And honest to God, I really want to see Imogen's play model used in another book, like another popular book. I
yeah,
love play model. Same with Danny. But yeah, I hope we see Kat's voice acting real soon. And I know she said no to this, but maybe the possibility of Kat doing a Discord stream, not Twitch stream, of the Nanny Affair 2, or maybe some other book, because that was actually a possibility that was kind of discussed in the stream. The possibility of doing it on Discord viewing party, bringing everybody in. She can stream it on Discord for everyone to see, and they can all see like the same way, and
yeah,
just without the harassment from Twitch. I'd say that'd be a good idea. I think.
yeah,
But
mm,
a lot of possibilities. I'm very eager to see Kat's voice acting. Her stories, her points of views are just absolutely amazing. And
yeah.
like I said, I just can't wait to see what happens next.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree with that sentiment. Yeah, it's gonna be super fun. It Lives Beneath is just super awesome book. The ending was great. What happened, how we defeat Josephine, and how everything goes on. It was super awesome. With the ending, I think like in It Lives in the Woods. In the woods, they did say, "Hey, here's a teaser for the next book," but they did say at the end of It Lives Beneath that it's a bonus scene you have. And they released it in 2018's Halloween, and then next to Halloween's, they didn't release anything. They didn't even say a word about it. So I think they didn't say anything about it officially, but the ending, personally, I feel like, like you said, the Danny and Parker. By the way, Danny is my favorite love interest, like you said, and Imogen, yeah, she was good too. But Parker, I felt like I never chose Parker, but I felt like Parker could have been the best love interest in this book because Parker was a police officer who kind of protected us all the time, from time to time. So Parker was really intimidating from time to time. And also, it was really refreshing to see Parker from time to time in this, when you are scared and afraid. So Parker, if you see Parker and you see, oh, everything's all right. And Tom was also like really brave. So I felt like Parker, Danny, Tom, they are keeping keeping people from getting this power that lives in the lake, in this city, in this place, in this town, and on the other side of the woods, that is the Westchester, like you said, the Connor, Noah, or your main character, depending on your previous choice, and Jocelyn. with her, the distorted face. They're gathered around and they say, we need to stop the attacks from happening. So like you said, it's just yeah, they could have gone for another book from here, maybe with Connor as a main character this time, or just changing perspective. They could have gone with Connor or Jocelyn, and then Noah, or whoever you choose to keep safe. So they could have gone that way, but when they did not, I think they could have hinted that this is a proper end, because just like this, these are the two things: the power that lived in the woods and the power that lived in the lake, and we kind of defeated them. And now the power is still there, but the group they formed, and they also said, we're going to take people from it lives beneath where I can't remember the Pine Spring. So people from Pine Spring will also be joining this Westchester crew, and people from both the towns will come together and will stop any attacks from happening from now on. So I think they could have hinted. They said a bonus scene, so that's how it's gonna go from now on. That's just a ending. They could have gone with that. Like, I don't know, it's how I felt after reading the book. And yeah, definitely first felt there could be a book, but then after some discussion and some thinking back at it, and 2 years of nothing, no news from them. So I thought maybe I can look at this way. And when I looked at this way, so I thought, wow, this is not probably a definitely these two books are the best books. So a third book to this would have been like a piece of gold. But still, what we have, I think the ending, I think it, according to me, I think it can make perfect ending, like the way they hinted, like keeping them safe if they're forming a group there and there. So yeah, it does make sense, but yeah, it's disappointing that they didn't plan to make a third book.
Yeah, it's again just completely disappointing of the fact that they kind of rail off the great books that everyone. It's like it's the opposite of the community feedback. Continue the books to trilogies. That's what I say. If they like AVSP, that deserves a sequel, maybe even a trilogy, depending on how it goes. It could go towards from it could go to family. It could,
Mm,
so we've built up the relationship. The second one could be going through the relationship, getting married, getting on. We could have a
mm,
third book going on to having a family.
yeah.
AVSP. I personally would love to see, Ava, Simon, and the MC. The Montjoys continuing the legacy with them. They kind of had a bit to work with. Continuing the legacy with Ava and Simon. That would have been at least a sequel, possibly even a family. And
Mm,
then what else? What else? And then It Lives, just continuing on the story. Maybe the third one being an ultimate climax to bring it all together. Maybe bringing both parties together with maybe a small third party, or no, just keeping both parties with Connor, and there being an ultimate climax. Maybe because so far we've had two instances of the power. It would have made sense for them to find one third, but it brings both of those key groups together for one final climax. I would have loved to see a final climax in the third It Lives anthology, just to end it off. Maybe see your chosen allies get together.
mm,
Um, who knows? It's just so much potential. I think kind of just thrown out, which is a
yeah,
bit upsetting.
yeah. They could have gone that route. That probably, I don't know why they stopped it, because maybe at the time they didn't have much players. But yeah, that's why they chose to just end the way they ended It Lives Beneath, with like a hint at happy ending, and sort of leave people questioning that what could happen. So the tricky ending, sort of, that is, if you think that way, it could be a good ending, or so but you're right. So the choices did say that there are lots of players and choices, and their opinion varies. So what we see on, say, Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, that's just a little chunk of the people. But because they said when they canceled a lot of books, including Hero, Ride or Die, this January, and they said that there's a vast majority of players and choices whose voice don't match. They probably don't want Hero. They just go off like the Royal Romance book. It will say it, and they said our choices, the store is open because of those trilogy books. If those books hadn't gotten the sequels it got, our store wouldn't be open now. And and because it is open, we're thinking of new books like Crimes of Passion, zombie books. So the revenue we got from those books, we can put that investment into another upcoming book. So I can sort of see that point there also why they would do that. But so far, I would say, yeah, it's disappointing to see not having a third, book like ending with a trilogy and having a blast. But still, I would say it lives. It's one of the best books in choices, and what they did with it lives in the woods, it lives beneath. They're the best works. And so far, the ending they even gave it lives beneath, I would say it was a good ending. That the fact would always be there that they didn't bring a book three there. So I don't know, but yeah, like it lives within the project you mentioned. Let's hope that is the ending we deserved originally from choices. It's kind of mixed bag.
Yeah, definitely. It's you can understand, the writers wanting to do their own thing. I can respect that. One thing they want to do is, they do what they love, but they want to appeal to the actual audience as well. That's one thing. One thing about making something you want to do. You want to appeal to your audience, and that requires feedback. But you have to take on board that feedback and try to appeal to it, especially when you've got such a good creation going on, such as Open Heart, Baby Bump, Very
Yeah,
Scandalous Proposal, etc. You want to appeal to keep those going and keep them going strong.
yeah. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Let's hope that in future that happens. And well, Eclipse is not possible now from choices, definitely. But let's hope that the zombie book, yeah, they do something like similar to what they did in It Lives, and they give it the zombie book what they did, what they couldn't give It Lives, or some other books like Hero. So then it could be like a fulfillment and a lesson they'll probably learn from those previous things.
Yeah, it's absolutely there's so much potential choices could do, and it's
Yeah,
not too late for them to fix things. They
yeah,
can still bring things up.
yeah,
It's all a matter of I can see them heavily prospering. With the talk of virtual reality and all
yeah,
the advancements of opening, bringing the bigger picture, bringing the community in, maybe bringing some new writers aboard, stuff like that. All they just need to do is to keep just take the community's feedback into consideration as well with the stories. Know
yeah.
what the good stories are out. A very kind of proposal. Give them the sequels they deserve. Finish them off perfect. Build new stories, and it's just perfect.
I totally agree with you. Well, let's hope that that happens in the future. Like you always, like you said, like endless possibility. Let's just yeah,
Yeah, I'm really eager to see as well. It's interesting.
yeah, definitely. All right, so that's it for me. I don't have anything on my list. Anything you want to add? Anything you want to bring in question? Any new insight?
No, I think that's everything off the top of my head. Just the fact that I hope LOA, Slow
Mm,
Burn, will keep spicing up, and honest to God, I can't wait for Nanny Affair 2. Hopefully, it will come in and just brain swamp all of my negative thoughts I've had and all the worries I've had, and it just blows up perfect. I cannot
yeah,
wait. And
yeah,
for the love of God, please change it so that the cover will be the Li you choose, not a forced male Li, because for the love of God, that was the one thing we loved about the first book, and a bit of a bad one about the other one we had.
yeah,
So,
yeah. Let's hope that's the
Viva la
case. And
Nanny Affair.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, the nanny
hopefully.
affairs. Yeah, like the loading screen. Hopefully that's the li that we choose and the main character we choose.
Mm,
And
yeah.
laws of attraction and Avsp and slow burn. Yeah, they're spicing up, and I hope this week will be a blast for specifically laws of attraction. Can't wait for it. Beau and everything. It's just super exciting. Can't wait to get back to Magro Brian.
Yes, I swear to God, if I do not get the chance to punch and humiliate Beau, we're gonna have a problem. At first, it was just not giving us a scene with Aslinn. Now it's not letting us take down Beau. I swear to God.
Yeah, 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 yeah. More time with Aslinn and revenge on Beau or whoever is defending Beau, even Martin. So that'd be his, feast.
Oh, it will be a feast to remember.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. All right. So thank you for coming again. I had a nice conversation with you, like all the times, about what happened this week's in choices, the books, specifically with laws of attraction, and then it lives beneath, and it's just a lot to look forward to. Thanks again for coming.
Yeah, as always, it's an absolute pleasure to be here, and I look forward to the future as well as some future other group chats because that was really fun. Yeah, we
Yeah.
could.
Yeah.
I can just imagine all the people, all the different people, and all the fun we could have in those. So that would be amazing.
Yeah, you're looking forward to that and sort of expanding it. Getting more people. Yeah, that would be super awesome.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for coming. So see you again. Stay safe. Take care, and enjoy choices and have fun. Okay.
Until next time.
Yeah. Until next time, and stay safe. I'll catch you. I'll catch you in the group chats and in the Instagram. And see you.
See ya.
See you. Bye.